Good morning, everyone. This is Prabhakar with the Clean and Raw Food Certification Program at the International Center for Creative Systems. Welcome to the eighth forum. Today we'll be spotlighting organic spirulina and their journey to certification. And we should be starting in another 6 minutes or so. I see a lot of people are still joining. Welcome, everyone. We should be starting in another 3 or 4 minutes. Still see a lot of people joining us. All right. Play the systems journey video. A lot of people are joining.
Welcome to V.A.SHIVA. V.A.SHIVA is a product of my journey across East and West, science and tradition, ancient and modern, that brings you the science of systems so you can become a force for truth, freedom, health. V.A.SHIVA is a platform of revolutionary education, community building, and weaponry for unleashing local activism. My journey to V.A.SHIVA begins in the chaos of Bombay, where I experienced diverse religions, languages, castes, and in a small village that had no running water, no electricity, where my grandmother, a poor village farmer, practiced Siddha, an ancient system of Indian medicine over 10,000 years old. She observed one's face, the art of Samudrika Lakshanam, to understand a body's unique constitution, allowing her to deliver the right medicine for the right person at the right time. Watching my grandmother heal others, I was inspired to study medicine, but I was also aware of the corrupt caste system of India, which denigrated a human being, where my family were considered low caste untouchables, where one's birth determined one's destiny. The grit and determination of my mother and father led them to get educated and to come to America, a 1 in a trillion event. Their actions inspired me to work hard and excel. While in 9th grade, I attended New York University in a computer science program, and subsequently, at the age of 14, was given a full-time job as a research fellow at what is now known as Rutgers Medical School in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. There I investigated the system of sleep using mathematics, computer science, and biology for sudden infant death syndrome. It was there in Newark where I invented email, when I was the first to convert every feature of the physical, paper-based interoffice mail system, including inbox, outbox, memo, carbon copy, blind carbon copy, attachments, into its electronic equivalent, a system which I named email, a term that I was the first to coin. On August 30th, 1982, I was awarded the first U.S. copyright for the invention of this system, recognizing me as the inventor of email. At that time, copyright was the only way to protect software inventions. I went on to MIT, where I earned 4 degrees across multiple systems of engineering: electrical, mechanical, design, biological. That training led me to invent many other systems for advancing humankind. EchoMail, the world's first intelligent email management system. CytoSolve, a computational biology system for eliminating animal testing to discover new medicines faster, cheaper, and safer. And to the creation of a whole systems methodology for certifying clean food. These innovations led me back on a Fulbright to India, where I discovered the missing link between Eastern medicine and Western systems theory, honoring my grandmother, to develop Your Body, Your System, a powerful tool that will help you understand how your body is a system and how the inputs of food, supplements, and exercise bring your body back to its natural system state. And Systems Health, an integrative educational discipline that is now integrated into the V.A.SHIVA platform that will enable you to learn the science of systems, the science of everything, be it your body as a system or our society and politics as a system, to reveal the foundational interrelationships between truth, freedom, health. Now is a time for you to be the light, learn the science of systems, build community, and weaponize yourself to unleash the activism necessary to deliver truth, freedom, health in your local community. Welcome to V.A.SHIVA.
You're muted, by the way, host.
All right, thank you for that. See some comments saying that they cannot hear. Dina, are you still there? Can you hear me? All
All
right,
good now, thank you.
thank you. We should be starting shortly.
So mute, unmute, start video, started screen sharing. So everybody is now into screen sharing. Where are we now? Oh, this is
Who would have ever thought someone like me would invent email and create CytoSolve to revolutionize health for personalized and precision medicine, a system for delivering the right medicine for the right person at the right time? I was born a low-caste untouchable in India's caste system, a system of aristocracy, oppression, and racism. As a child, I observed my grandmother, a poor village farmer, practice C.L.E.A.N, India's oldest system of medicine, to heal local villagers by observing their face, to know their unique constitution, to deliver a unique combination of foods, healing herbs, and massage. The caste system and her abilities to heal inspired me to understand the interconnectedness of all life. My name is Dr.SHIVA Ayyadurai. I'm an MIT PhD, a Fulbright scholar, a scientist, technologist, and inventor. My family and I left India to come to America on my 7th birthday. As a 14-year-old, I began working as a full-time research fellow at Rutgers Medical School to unravel the mysteries of sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, and created the world's first email system long before I ever heard of MIT. As I traversed academia over the next 3 decades, I observed self-serving academics, never solving real problems, writing grant after grant, competing for tenure, while diminishing real science and real scientists, pushing a reductionist science to destroy the scientific method. Like the blind men who never saw the whole elephant, but the parts, they delivered a dismembered view of reality. I observed Big Pharma use such reductionism, wasting billions year after year to fund research in test tubes, killing animals, and using the poor as guinea pigs for clinical testing to create products that even the FDA no longer allowed. Not only Big Pharma practice this reductionism, but also the elites of Big Vitamin, Big Green, and Big New Age, with gurus and yogis, empowered by Hollywood celebrities, selling one supplement after another based on a cherry-picked science. All that changed in 2003 when the Human Genome Project ended, revealing that humans have the same number of genes, about 20,000, as that of a worm, giving rise to a systems biology. We realized that one-size-fits-all medicine was a failure. We realized their medicines were killing us, making today's generation's lifespan shorter than any previous generation. Obesity, heart disease, deaths from adverse reaction to drugs, confusion on what diet, what supplements, and who to believe is what they have delivered you. They push natural and organic products for your beauty and wellness, while their real solution is their plastic surgeons and Botox. We've been sold out. It's time for real science, a system science that interconnects the parts to discover truth, to know what really works, to get the health we need and deserve. This is why I created CytoSolve. CytoSolve is about truth, freedom, and health versus power, profit, and control. CytoSolve is a revolutionary technology integrating bioinformatics, computational biology, mathematical modeling, decentralization to reveal the truth. CytoSolve computes trillions of potential combinations of biomolecular interactions to discover what actually works based on the actual science. No reductionism, no cherry picking. CytoSolve's predictive modeling has been proven accurate time and time again, matching laboratory results. CytoSolve discovers synergistic combinations of compounds to maximize health and reduce toxicity. For example, we know curcumin from turmeric and resveratrol from red grapes alleviate inflammation, but how much should we combine? Current methods are hand-waving at best. Here, with CytoSolve, we first model the control condition with no curcumin and no resveratrol to simulate high inflammation with the cytokine level at 0.15 micromolar. Next, we add just 5 micromolars of curcumin. The inflammation drops to 0.05. Next, we use 5 micromolars of resveratrol and the inflammation drops from 0.15 to 0.06. But when we combine curcumin and resveratrol of 3 micromolars of curcumin and 2 micromolars of resveratrol, inflammation drops from 0.15 to 0.03, far lower, nearly 200% less than just one compound alone. That's the synergy principle of system science. We've all had enough of their fake and reductionist science. They think we'll simply keep buying their marketing, their celebrities, and their products that can never truly heal us. We don't need them. Great things come when we integrate the best of things. It's our time. It's time we delivered solutions for ourselves. It's time for truth, freedom, and health. It's time for CytoSolve. Welcome.
Millions of people suffer every day from painful discomfort and swelling, but most pain medications come with harsh side effects, and many alternative supplements have little scientific backing. That's why we at CytoSolve created MV25. MV25 was formulated using the CytoSolve Computational Systems Biology Platform, a technology for precision and personalized health invented by Dr. Shiva during his doctoral research at MIT. This formulation is the result of computing trillions of potential combinations of biomolecular interactions derived from thousands of peer-reviewed scientific papers published across 4 decades by 68 research institutions to discover an optimal synergy of compounds that downregulate biomarkers of discomfort and normal swelling.
Hi, I'm Barbara Ann. My hands would cramp up so that I couldn't hold cards or knit or crochet, and they would go like that. And I'd have to use this when I played cards with my grandkids, and I started taking that MV25. After a bit, I was able to hold cards in my hand, very, very little cramping, hardly at all anymore. MV25.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I tore my ACL during Taekwondo. I had a lot of pain and limited mobility. I've been taking the MV25 for about 6 months now. After the first week, I noticed a big difference. After the second week, almost literally no pain.
My name is Jeremy, and I suffer from a lower back problem. Hurt my back at work years ago, and I can go to the chiropractor, do all kinds of different things, and nothing seems to help. And I decided to try MV25. I didn't notice a difference immediately, but within a few days, the pain went away, and it stayed away. I've continued to take it, and even when I do things that I shouldn't do, it seems to go away a lot quicker than it ever did before.
MV25 is certified clean, 100% non-GMO, made in America, and GMP certified for good manufacturing practices. MV25 is CytoSolve optimized, which means that this formula has been engineered to maximize benefits while minimizing toxicity based on current research curated by CytoSolve. As the science advances, so will this formulation. This is our promise. Order online at mv25.life. Consult your doctor before taking any supplement or medication and use as directed. MV25.
All right. Good morning,
All right,
everyone.
everyone, welcome. This is Dr.SHIVA Ayyadurai. This is a part of our clean and raw food certification form. I want to thank Dr. Prabhakar and all of you for attending. This forum will take about 30 minutes or less to give the presentation, but we want to have enough time for discussion. The clean and raw food forum, we do it on the second Tuesdays of every month. So couple of things everyone can do to support what we're doing is let others know that we do this, and obviously let others know about the movement for Truth, Freedom, Health. This is all supported by all of you, and it's a global movement. And Truth, Freedom, Health delivers solutions. One of the solution portfolios we have is to help people understand what is clean food and or raw food and how this came. The certification we're going to walk you through is a global certification. We have companies, manufacturers all over the world who've been certified. The key thing as we walk you through this is a bottoms-up certification. It took us an incredible amount of effort to put this certification standard together. No government in the world owns this certification. It's quite unique. This is one of the few food certifications that is owned by the people, which means all of you, the public, decided the standards. And so it cannot be manipulated by government or anyone in big industry because it's brought to you by people. So this is why when we say bottoms-up movement for Truth, Freedom, Health, this is one example of it. As we go through this, any one of you can take this certification, and if you know entrepreneurs, businesses, you can help them. We are also constantly advancing this certification in new markets. For example, we're going to start working with some of our Truth from Health volunteers in the South, in Tennessee, who want to start using this to certify entire restaurants. We're working with people in Canada and overseas who want to start certifying beef. And we're building a certification for locally grown eggs. So I want to let you know that this is a participatory effort, but we have the infrastructure to define this. Thousands of products all over the world have been certified, all types of products that we'll walk you through. But we want to walk you through Spirulina, which is a new category that we had to build the certifications. It's really a supplement that has some interesting properties. Next. So what you're going to learn is you'll learn about the center, which the certification housed in. It's the International Center for Integrative Systems. It's a 501c3. You'll learn what is the certification. Then you're going to learn one of the manufacturers, Parry, who actually makes or harvests spirulina, their journey to get clean certified. You're going to learn what it took them to do that, how much money it takes, and you'll find out it's extraordinarily cost effective. We made it accessible for pretty much anyone, small manufacturers all the way to large ones. And then we'll end with how you can support what we're doing, and you can actually be part of this. So I want to just let everyone know, again, this is a bottoms-up certification that all of you can be part of this effort. You see this so-called Make America Hopeless Again, or health, whatever the nonsense that Booby fucking Kennedy's doing. That's all going to be nothing to do with bottoms up. It's again going to be a way to sell people a regulatory framework, which a government still controls. That's what makes the certification unique. Next. So everyone benefits from this, whether you're the people and animals who eat the food, or everyone, or supplement manufacturers, farmers, restaurateurs, as well as ingredient suppliers. Next. We want to, for example, the range of people that we have this is a new company that just signed up, a nut manufacturing company called Super Pop, and they essentially make foods, but they are clean certified. Next. And that's a very small manufacturer. This is Buchi Kombucha. Again, small manufacturers. Next. Here's Manuka Honey Company in New Zealand. By the way, it's very, very difficult to get honey certified, because you have to prove that where the hive is within a 3-mile radius, there is no pesticides. Many of the things that are organic certified, we found out, still had pesticide residues, versus the ones that were not even certified. So our certification helps more of these smaller farmers get involved without, paying USDA Organic a ton of money when it's in fact not as good. Prabhakar, do you want to comment anything on that?
Sure.
Prabhakar, are you there?
So, yeah. So Manuka honey
I can't hear you, Prabhakar.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
It's a special type of honey, and it's endemic to New Zealand, and it has been attributed many medicinal properties, including wound healing and immune boost, so on. It has a compound that is only found in the Manuka honey that has those medicinal properties. And when we started, well, actually, people approached us to see whether we can certify their honey as raw and clean. At that time, one of our criteria was, it has to be organic, or the ingredients need to, a certain amount of them need to be organic. And then there was it is kind of an uphill task to get a honey certified as organic, because the bees, they don't have a specific area where they will go and collect their pollen. So the way that, and it gets really hard to get the honey organic certified. The way that we overcame this problem was to analyze the honey by a third party, whether it contains any organic, residual chemicals like pesticides or fertilizers and so on. And that was able to, that we established as a must standard for honey. And we have been certifying these honey producers since last 3 or 4 years now. About 3 of the one of the top New Zealand honey producers are actually support the Clean and Raw Food certification project.
I think one of the important things to also say is, you may have seen a 60-minute special, I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago, or one of these TVs, saying there was a lot of Manuka honey, which wasn't even Manuka, that people are just putting the Manuka label on. So this also obviates the fraud also. So just want to let you guys know about that. So let's go to the next slide. This is another organization. We'll probably do a whole analysis of this, but ashwagandha is a very powerful herb. It has many, many powerful properties. Some people call it the Indian ginseng. And ashwagandha, this is one of the largest suppliers, and this has also been clean certified. Next. They're probably the biggest supplier of ashwagandha. We also do raw ingredients, like this is, sugar, but it's cane sugar, it's unrefined, and it comes from the original source. Next. This is a pure raw nut butter. So Artisana does various nut butters. You can see them on Amazon, Whole Foods, etc. Next. A lot of different organizations. Next. So again, this is all housed, meaning our certification is in a nonprofit company that I started when I came out of MIT to really educate the world on systems thinking. And we did a lot of programs for kids. We started doing a lot of programs on research on GMOs, or exposing what GMOs do at the molecular level. But we decided to house the Clean and Raw project there because we wanted, it's not driven by maximizing profit. So that's the background on that. Prabhakar, maybe you can walk them through the International Center.
Sure. So, as Dr. Shiva mentioned, this is a non-profit organization which is controlled by a board of directors with the executive director who oversees the day-to-day operations. And those operations include several projects that are based on understanding complex systems using computational methods or any other methods to answer those complex systems problems. So some of the projects that we have include Innovation Core. This is another NGO that we have that Dr. Shiva has promoted. This NGO awards bright kids, innovators under the age of between the age of 14 and 18 with a scholarship, yearly scholarship, to promote their innovative ideas. And then we also do systems biology research, where we try to understand biological systems using computational methods, including CytoSolve, the video that you saw before the presentation. And one of the things that we did with the systems biology group was in project on understanding the core differences between GMO and non-GMO varieties. So how are they different? Are they different? How are they different? And why are they different? So we looked at soy as a case study. We wanted to understand what makes the genetically modified soy different than the organic or its non-conventional, non-GMO counterpart. So we wrote a series of 5 papers. The way that we perform the systems biology research is we understand the existing research that is being done on soy, and then the molecular pathways involved in the genetic modification. So we identified this core mechanism which is changed in the genetically modified plants called C1 metabolism. We understand what are the different molecular pathways that are involved in that metabolism. We mathematically model that, and then we publish that research. And then at the end of the project, we were able to find another very interesting plant study in the greenhouse, where they also kind of simulated the same conditions that our model had, and we were able to match the results from the actual plant greenhouse study. So the one factor that we looked at was called the glutathione GSHG ratio. So this is very critical because that tells us the resistance power that the plant has repel any potential adversity, including the infestation or drought conditions and so on. That means if you have enough stores of GSH or glutathione, you're able to survive adverse conditions. So our model was able to predict that there is a key difference between the glutathione values between the organic and the Roundup Ready, which is the genetically modified soy. So we predicted that the organic has more GSH, almost 250 times more glutathione than its Roundup Ready or the genetically modified plant. So this is fine. It's a prediction. It's a good prediction based on the existing research. But what was really significant in this paper was that we were able to validate the predictions that we had using our mathematical approach or systems biology approach. So the greenhouse study also was able to show that the organic version has much higher quantities of glutathione compared to the non-GMO version, almost 260% higher. So this shows that we not only understand the difference especially for a parameter like glutathione. That means glutathione, is more present in the organic, but also we understand why it is more. What changed when they changed the genes in the GMO plant? And we're able to drill down to the molecular level to understand that mechanism by which we can explain why organic soy has better glutathione levels than the Roundup Ready. So this is some of the research that we do at the center. And lastly, we have the raw and clean project also under the integrative systems umbrella. Um, Dr. Shiva. All right. So this is a project that we began in 2013 when a lot of the stakeholders actually approached Dr. Shiva. At that time, the raw food movement was in ascendancy, and it was growing at a pretty great rate. It was almost $250 million at that time. But nobody actually knew what can be termed as raw, or there wasn't any definition behind which everybody can gather and claim that this is a raw product. So
yeah, particularly if you looked at raw really came out of this whole natural hygiene movement, which has existed since in the United States, sort of in the early 1900s, which basically said it was concept of eating live, enzymatically bioavailable food, like, kombucha, fermented products, living foods, and the idea of not, quote unquote, killing foods, which means not overcooking them. So that model basically said that digestion is a function of having proper enzymes. And if you know what enzymes are, if you take any chemical reaction in the body, a certain chemical reaction requires so much energy. If you add an enzyme, which is also in physical chemistry known as a catalyst, it accelerates the reaction and you need less energy. You lower what's called the activation energy for a reaction to occur. So it's basic sort of physical chemistry. And the idea was that catalysts in your body, enzymes, which we have a lot of, accelerate these reactions. So the idea was that living food, quote unquote, living food, has enzymes. And typically the example people would give is, drink a raw, drink some carrot juice. It's alive, it feel refreshed, versus, eating a char-boiled meat. This is what people typically, the raw foodists or the living foodists would give, like that's dead. There's a lot of products you can buy with enzymes in it, digestive enzymes. They say, well, that's fine, but I like my meat, I just take digestive enzymes with it. And then others came after that saying, well, why do you need to do that? Just eat raw meat. So you'll find there was a raw meat movement for a while. Their cultures would just eat raw. And then they would say, look, animals do that, right? You watch your dog or your wolf, they take meat and they bury it and then they eat it. There are cultures that do that. But anyway, the bottom line was the concept of eating living foods with high enzymatic content. What ended up happening was this movement by the mid to early 1990s and late 1990s really built into a larger movement. And as Dr. Prabhakar said, it became a $300 million industry. And this word raw was being used everywhere, but no one knew what raw meant. And the big incident that occurred was there was a line of kombucha products that Whole Foods had, which had to be taken off. A lot of people got sick because of very high bacterial content. And what ended up happening was they took all the kombucha products off. So that's when I got asked to help define raw, because you could destroy a whole category. So anyway, that's a background. Next. So you guys know my background, you may know it, but the MIT Department of Food Biological Engineering, interestingly enough, came out in the 1970s there was a lot of very interesting people that came out of that department, like Barry Sears, who was building like the you know, like the some of the earliest um, bars, you know, for runners, etc., or the zone diet. Um, in 2003, the Food and Nutrition Science Department relabeled themselves as the Department of Biological Engineering to essentially be like chemical engineering. So I came back to MIT, and as you know, I did my work on CytoSolve there. And so, and I'd been on various standards committees. So we needed to define what raw was next. So what ended up happening was we called these stakeholders in next, and we asked all of them, what does the word raw mean? And everyone had very, very different ideas. Some people said, oh, you can't cook the food above 108 degrees or 118 degrees. It's dead. And it was a religion in some ways. You don't cook it, eat it above there. So people would do dehydration, or they would do, you know, leaving it out in the sun, or smoothies, but you're not supposed to cook it over 118. Others said it had to be vegan, and others said it had to be just plant-based, so on. Next slide. But it took us about a year, and we came up with the fundamentals of what raw meant. Safe, minimally processed, and bioavailable. And I'll come back to this. If you look at these three, it was a lot of effort to remember. This is a bottoms-up movement, so we had to go back at the science, bring people back. And it's a consensus-based movement. You have to get a general consensus. Everyone agrees to this. These three parameters, interesting enough, are very similar to how traditional people ate food. They ate food that was safe, minimally processed, and high bioavailability of nutrients. Very similar. But we came to the same point through all of this back and forth discussion, arguments, etc. These three systems criteria, notice we're not just saying organic. We're not just saying, oh, the food is good if it's has no pesticides, or food's good if we're taking a fundamental systems approach. This then resulted in the creation of the raw seal, R.A.W. We redefined it within these parameters next, and we said raw would now mean real, alive, and whole. Real, alive, and whole. And we said each of those had different point percentages, points, and you have to get 80 out of 100 points, 80%, to be qualified for raw. So how did we do that? Next. So the real and raw meant it had to be safe and non-GMO. And you got 0 for safe, and you got 0 if it was not safe, and you got 25 if it was safe. So how do you determine safety? Well, in the field of food sciences, there's been a lot of great work that was done that allows us to look from when ingredients come into a restaurant or into a manufacturing facility, where they come from. They're called control point checks, known as HACCP standards, ISO standards. So we either direct people to develop that, help people do that, or make sure they have the certification for that. Non-GMO is making sure that there's no genetically engineered ingredients in the food. So the consensus was that we didn't want anything to be GMO'd, and everything had to be safe. So you get 50 points. So right away, you're out of the running because you have to get 80 points. You're out of the running if you're not safe or you're not GMO, right? You have to be both to be in the running, because you get 25 lost, and so you're below the 80, you're at 75. So these became very mandatory criteria. Next. The next thing was alive. I was very curious because I had been a raw foodist for around 5 years. And then I started developing serious cravings for meat. And so I was very curious, how do you actually define this 118 degrees? So we use CytoSolve, and we really look back at what enzymatic bioactivity is. From a physical chemistry standpoint, it comes down to what's called the denaturing of the protein. Is it no longer, dockable, right, into different chemical reactions? Next. So we use that as a much more scientific framework to understand this. So per our standard, whatever number of ingredients you have, like 10 or 15 ingredients for this product. Next, we identify the key molecules. So for example, jalapenos, zeaxanthin, lutein, and capsicum, right? And red beet bell pepper has capsanthin, capsorubin, and beta carotene, free vitamin A. And so for every ingredient we identify by known ingredient analysis, the chemistry, and then we go to the process of aggregating that by weight and doing a curve by temperature. So you look at the temperature on one axis and the bioavailability on another axis, and then you determine for particular processing temperature what the bioavailability is. Now, in the case of this product, they heated it at 140 degrees in a dehydrator. So it's not like the food is dead after 118 degrees. It's still quite alive. In fact, it's 80% quote unquote alive or bioavailable. So you see, we do this for every product. This took a lot out of the woo-woo, new age, stuff out of it, and it brought in some structure. So this was very, very effective and a much more scientific framework. Next. So in this case, this product was 80% bioavailable, 80 times 20 points. They would get 16 points for this. Okay. And by the way, CytoSolve, as you know, we can look at ingredients and we can extract from those ingredients the molecules and figure out how to process them. Next. And I think, Prabhakar, you played them a video of CytoSolve, right?
Right.
So, so we are using CytoSolve, this capabilities to do molecular systems analysis. We've used it to understand how at the molecular level molecules interact, to identify other pathways. One of the things I want to let you guys know, if you guys are listening, and are interested in the area of environmental toxins, so here you see two ingredients at low dosages. By the way, apigenin comes from bitter orange. From chamomile flowers, and hesperidin comes from bitter orange. But when you combine them together, you can really, really reduce pain and inflammation. That's a basis I think we shared earlier of our product MV25. Next.
So just a brief detour, Dr. Shiva. One of the attendees had a question. Actually, this slide answers perfectly. She was wondering what MV25. She knows that it affects inflammation, but she was trying to understand, does it address the root cause of the inflammation? So I think the answer lies in this slide. So the answer is yes. So apigenin and hesperidin, both individually as well as in combination, address the root cause of inflammation. So for example, there is a whole pathway of arachidonic acid metabolism and COX-2 synthesis and PGE2 signaling that are involved in both pain and inflammation. And the root cause of those are these molecular reactions, which are being addressed by these two molecules in MV25.
Yeah, when you eat food, when you eat anything or you take anything, ultimately we have molecules, compounds. These compounds interact with other chemical reactions in your body, and then they lead to other reactions. So what we do at CytoSolve is we identify these chemical reactions, and then we identify targets that we can hit in those chemical reactions, almost like firing an arrow at these different targets that then change the nature of those chemical reactions. So as you can see here, this affects 4 major pathways: COX-2 synthesis, PGE2 signaling, oxidative stress, and arachidonic metabolism, all of which are directly involved in pain and inflammation. By the way, when you take Advil, if you ever take that, or ibuprofen, that only affects COX-2 synthesis. In fact, it inhibits, it's called a COX-2 inhibitor. But then it affects many other things in your body and causes side effects, right? This doesn't do that, as you can see, okay? Because it modulates many, many other subsystems. Next. So, Prabhakar, go back to this. What I want to let people know is, if you're looking at, from a clean food, if you look at toxins in the environment, the EPA will say, oh, don't worry about that toxin. It's just a little bit of it. Your liver will clear it out. And then you say, wait a minute, what about other toxins? Oh, don't worry about that other toxin. That's at the lower levels. Your liver will clear it out. So if you're exposed to 20 different toxins, and again, it varies on people's chemistries, it could be a synergy of a set of toxins as an ensemble effect, And even though they're all below the EPA levels, together they can do more harm. Similarly, here we're finding out low levels of the right ingredients can also do beneficial work. So some of you may want to think about projects in your localities to help define combinations of toxins that can have effects. So CytoSolve is a framework to do that. We were, I think at one of our things, Prabhakar, a woman came who's filing a lawsuit, right? In Texas, I forget, Louisiana. And she's very interested in using CytoSolve to understand the low levels of toxins and how they combine and how that could have caused injury to her daughter. So anyway, this is a very powerful way to look at the synergy of compounds. And that's what we use for the bioavailability. Next. So by the way, we are using this now. We're going after every major disease in CytoSolve. Next. And at our symposium last Tuesday, we went over this, but MV25 is an example of that. The other two criteria we have is that gets a score of 30. So that's 50 plus 20, 70, is organic and nutrient density. So organic, we give a range because there's some very, very good manufacturers or even entrepreneurs who are getting foods that are wild crafted, like the honey, or like dandelion that grows in the wild, or, all sorts of herbs. In many of the indigenous cultures in Africa or India, there are still tribals, indigenous people live in the forest and they're collecting herbs. And those herbs get gathered and put into a lot of medicinal products. It's very, very difficult to characterize those as organic because USDA organic is not going to go to the hills of some, forest somewhere. So organic, we give a range. And then the nutrient density, we categorize using the Andy score. So anyway, so that gives another 30. Next. If you get 80 or more, it's categorized as raw. Next. And this became the basis of the standard. We also created a sister standard called C.L.E.A.N, because there are many, many products that they heat over 100 degrees centigrade. So raw is you must be heating it below. C.L.E.A.N is you can heat it over 100 degrees centigrade. It's the same conceptual framework of safe, bioavailable, and minimally processed, but it's characterized as conscious, which is a safe, live, organic, ethical, non-GMO, active, bioavailable, and nutritious, the Andy score. Next. So we have two standards, clean and raw. Next. Next. So if you apply this now to R.A.W. Parry, which is one of the big companies that does organic spirulina. Next. We want to walk you through what we did here. This is a case study. So Parry Nutraceuticals, they create all sorts of nutraceutical products, but for 42 years, one of the leading providers of microalgae cultivation. And they initiated, we initiated the work on spirulina as a source of protein. Actually, they did, I'm sorry, as a source of protein and vital nutrients for children living in rural areas. How do you get high density protein? So that's what spirulina came to be. And Parry Nutraceuticals is one of the largest spirulina manufacturers in the world. And they've been for nearly 8 years, a clean and raw certified company. Next, so nearly a decade. Next. So their core value is mindful nutrition, which means the purpose is to produce and supply high quality supplements packed with nutrients derived from microalgae. Next. The cultivation that they do, it's proprietary, and they use hybrid cultivation methods that really ensure negative impact on the environment, right? Land, water, and other resources. Next. So when we did their analysis, they were safe, they process it properly, and they are non-GMO. Next. None of the spirulina is genetically engineered. Their enzymatic bioactive score, they got a score of 18 out of 20, which is about 90%.
This is actually, they scored 20. I think this is error.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they scored 100% on the.
Okay. Do you want to change that, Prabhakar? Wait.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so Parry scored 20 out of 20 on that. And that means, so 20 plus a 50 they had 70, which means they need at least another 10 points to get the clean certified. Thanks, Prabhakar, for pointing that out. So when we looked at the nutritional density score next and the organic score, they were organic and they were nutrient dense. So this is one of the products that got a 100 score, right? Every criteria met. And that's their bottling. You can find it out there. So that's an example of a company that went end to end with all those processes. Next. On the clean certified. Yep.
More than they're doing their own product, they actually supply to a lot of manufacturers. So if you are buying Spirulina, more than likely it is actually coming from Parry's.
Yeah. So what happens is many of these manufacturers, they have their own their brand, but then they also private label for many companies because from a market standpoint, it's a lot of effort to hit markets with just your brand. Next. So they've been clean. By the way, once you're raw certified, you're obviously clean, but clean doesn't mean you're raw certified, right? Because the temperature criteria. So they've been certified since 2016. They met the real criteria with 50, the alive criteria with 100%, and then the whole criteria with 30 points. So they got 100%. Next. What does it take to get raw certified? How much does it cost? So those of you, if you know friends, family, other companies were doing really good products, and by the way, the calculator for this, it's fully transparent. We have it up on the website at cleanfoodcertified.org. But if you go, you may want to zoom in. When we developed the pricing, again, we were trying to be not just generous, but make it accessible to as many manufacturers and taking into account the size of the company. So the way we do it is one of the variables is a number of manufacturing sites. So let's say Parry has one site, for example. I don't know their exact numbers, but let's say you have a company you produce it at a facility. And let's say you have 5 products. Then the next thing we look at is the number of unique ingredients. We don't want to double charge people. So let's say you're making a nut butter bar and you have almonds and honey, cashews and honey, pecans and honey, sesame seeds and honey, and I don't know, Brazil nuts and honey. Well, altogether, that's, even though you may have 5 products and 2 ingredients, we're not going to charge people for 10 ingredients. It's double counting because the honey is common across those 5. So we would only consider, let's say, 6 ingredients in that example. So if you can change that to 6 per bucker. And then the next thing we do is we look at the size of the company. Are they a $100 million company or are they a $500,000 company? So 0.5 means $500,000. If it's a $500,000 company, their total investment to get 5 products certified is $840. For 2 certifications, you divide that by 5 and you get the 168. Some companies may want to just do one, let's say clean. Then we give them an additional discount. But look at the numbers. It's only it's pennies. Now, if that company is a $10 million company, if Dr. Prabhakar changes that to 10, what you'll realize is the price goes up. And if you scroll down a little bit, what we've done is we've created a scaled model. There's a factor in this, Prabhakar, as the size of the company grows in millions of dollars, they pay a higher factor, okay? So the large companies, they're successful, they're bring more products, they contribute to the whole. And it makes sense because the label's going on, obviously, more product SKUs. Next. So that's the pricing. Very affordable, very accessible. Thanks, Prabhakar. Go. The other piece is, next, before we go to how you can help, we want to let everyone know that we have a standards committee. We do public hearings twice a year. So again, this is a bottom-up standard. People can participate in bringing up new things. So we've had people actually at these meetings bring up eggs. Can we certify eggs? Can we certify beef? Etc. And those are now in the process. We just had, as I mentioned, can we certify a restaurant? You're going to a restaurant and we're building the standard for that. So you can look at the ingredients in the restaurant, how the facilities are kept, even look at how the people are treated. That's the ethical piece. Meaning the employees in that place, like how are they being treated in the production of the food, the facilities. So we have quite a huge opportunity here, and all of you can be part of that. Next. So how you can participate is in a number of ways. Next. Next is you can donate to obviously the center. Everything we do is supported by people. You can get your products clean and raw certified, or people that you know. You have an idea of the price. You can be an affiliate to refer other manufacturers to us that may want to get clean and raw certified. One way you can support everything we do is you can buy the products coming out of CytoSolve. You can fund research. To join the community, we encourage all of you to become a truthfreedomhealth.com warrior. If you go to truthfreedomhealth.com, Prabhakar, if you go there right now, this is very easy. You go there. We've created an entire educational platform so all of you can learn systems approach. This certification is the systems approach. So if you go here and you scroll down through this, you'll find out there's some videos here. Go down and you can really understand that we have created a global movement to, as we say, shatter the swarm. And we have solutions like Clean Food Certified. Keep scrolling down. So I want you to go through this. We identify what the problem is, what happens when you get confusion, when there's a confusing world where you take reductionist approaches next. And then we want to encourage everyone, go down, Prabhakar, to become a Truth Freedom Health Warrior Scholar. Prabhakar, click on the contribute and right there. And if you can go right there and you can understand that we have various programs for people to get involved, free all the way to contributions where you can contribute to your advancement. Okay. All right, Prabhakar, thanks. Let's go back to your slide set, but go become a warrior scholar. Next, so you can go to donate right up to the website. We have t-shirts there. You can get your products clean certified. And if you're interested in that, Dr. Prabhakar will put this link there and you can set up time to meet with us. Or if you have an area that you think you want to get involved in getting certified, we'll teach you how to do that. There may be completely different new food categories we've missed, Next. We have affiliate programs next where you can get on the ground. And if you want to actually be an affiliate, bringing clean and raw to different parts of the world, do that. We just signed up a neurosurgeon in the Southeast Asia who's going to bring clean and raw to all the, from Indonesia to Bali to Thailand. I mean, these countries produce lots and lots of different products, and this is going to help them expand their market. Next. And we'll know in the United States or other parts of the world that they clean. You can also buy CytoSolve products, as I recommended. Dr. Prabhakar played MV25. It's a phenomenal product. Next, it also is clean certified. You can support your dogs with Canine 701. If you can go to the shop on VA.SHIVA, you can find it. This product is made up of it's a combination around 16, 17 ingredients. In fact, I think Spirulina is in there, fenugreek, whole bunch of, but all of them come from these natural sources that we've also run through CytoSolve. Next. And has very powerful detoxification effect for your pets, particularly their skin. And then recently, we did a lot of research for the last 5 years on all the herbs that come from the ancient tradition of C.L.E.A.N and R.A.W. Prabhakar, I don't know if people can see that. It's a little bit small. I can't. And we've created, a range of products that are combinations of herbs. A lot of them, again, come from indigenous, for joint, for detoxification, for digestion, for women, for breathing better, immunity, and tranquility. This has been a long effort. And then we have the CytoSolve analysis. So you can look at it that way, or we've also have the personalization piece where you can use YBYS and figure out which is the right tea for you. So one is you can go by ailment or you can go by tea, and all of these are clean certified. Next. Fund our research. And know that one of the big things is we really want to support indigenous medicine. Thanks, Prabhakar. Let's open it up to Q&A. Let's open it up to Q&A. Any questions? If you're interested in bringing the clean and raw to your communities, set up time with us, because there may be, if you go to your local health food store, there may be local manufacturers that want to get clean and raw certified. So you can help them do that. And if you want to be part of our restaurant project, let us know also. Go ahead, Michael Morford. Michael Morford.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Michael, where are you out of?
Montreal, Canada.
Okay, good to have you.
Yeah, I talked to you a bit before. First of all, congratulations on the election. It's really important. You're paving the pathway for independent candidates across all the world. So you're really like paving the way for it. I really, I just want to congratulate you on a successful campaign. It's maybe you didn't win, but it's very, very successful.
Well, depends on what you define winning as. Our goal in doing that campaign, Michael,
Yep.
as we're very transparent with, was to build a global and national organization.
Yep.
What emerged out of that was, we got amazing volunteers, leaders. It was significant effort to get on the ballot, even at the write-in with electors. And
Yep.
by the way, there were a couple of states where we defeated Jill Stein, okay? And definitely the Libertarians, who had millions and millions of dollars. We did that entire campaign for $100,000. If you add out the number of votes we got, I think it was 25 cents a vote. Trump spent $60 a vote. So yeah, thank you. We appreciate that, because it is helping people define what we can do bottoms up, so people get off their butts and don't just sit on the sidelines and expose the truth, but they don't want to do anything. So I think we showed, look what happens when real good people get together and take a systems approach.
Yeah, people can't complain anymore because it's so complicated, because now you're just showing them how it's done. So it's perfect like that. My question is, CytoSolve, is it just like a very thorough database that puts all these points together where you just like run scientific information through it, or does it do like something specific? Like I don't understand exactly how it works. Like I have a background in research, but like
What's your
is it
background in?
microbiology, genetics?
Oh, okay, good. So you took biochemistry, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you know the Michelson-Menten and basic physical chemistry, right? A plus B.
Not specifically.
Okay. So the body is ultimately made up of these biochemical reactions, right?
Yep.
So what we're doing is, it's not just a database. No, this is some serious rocket science. That was my base of my MIT PhD, which was putting together an infrastructure to couple systems of differential equations, which represent molecular pathways, okay, or molecular reactions. So if you remember your basic chemical equations, A, molecule A plus molecule B, right?
Mhm.
Comes together, has an activation energy. If there's an enzyme, you produce a compound, molecule C, right?
Yep.
Well, your body's made up of many of these small reactions. So CytoSolve, first of all, we create systems architectures based on the known literature of a disease. Then those molecular maps are literally painstakingly converted to computational physical chemistry equations. And then we compute the system of those molecular pathways to actually compute all these equations. So it's mechanistic. You say it's not just looking up like stupid AI does. AI really is dumb when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
This is the mechanisms of action based on the actual scientific experiments that were done, based on pieces of scientific truth. Sodium plus chloride going to sodium chloride is a piece of scientific truth, right?
Yep.
Hydrogen plus oxygen going to H2O2 or H2O is a scientific truth, right?
Yep.
Now, if you look, but you should come to our CytoSolve symposium, we go through that. But if you look at something like a major disease, like cancer, right? Depending on the type of cancer, those are dysfunctional molecular pathways that occur either because of genetics, epigenetics, some triggers. So we map out all those pathways and then we compute them. So yeah, it's not just a database lookup. This is actual solving a very, very tough problem called coupling of systems of equations, which people thought was impossible, and then decentralizing those computations to multiple small servlets or computers, you say? So you can do them very rapidly. So
Okay, very interesting. I'll look up more on. I'll go to the symposium. I didn't know there was one, so thank you very much.
yeah, Michael, are you the one we talked to with the beef or no?
No, I'm the organic farmer as from Canada.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. There was another guy we spoke to from Canada.
He's from Alberta, I think.
Sorry, Alberta. I
Yeah.
thought his Michael too, and Michael wants to work with us on creating a certification for grass-fed beef.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's very good. No, I'd be interested more in the vegetable part. I'm an organic vegetable farmer. But it's crucial. It's crucial. The grass-fed beef has
So
to
for
be the only way.
example, if you're producing vegetables, and let's say you're doing a product, right? So we can even apply this to farm products, right? Like vegetables. So in that case, we could build a new standard, which would, okay, so you have a carrot. Can we certify that carrot is clean? You see what I'm saying? Or raw? Obviously it's raw, right? But is it clean? So we would look at not just, organic. No, we look at the soil conditions, right? Where was the origin of the seed? How was it planted? How was it harvested? You say?
Yeah.
The entire systems process. So we could build that, Michael, if you're interested, we could do a follow-up for farm raised vegetables. You say it hasn't been done.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you have the organic seal. That's about it. But you get an organic seal, you don't know the entirety of that process, right? That we could. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah.
Like we have
I know.
Yeah, we have seen certain stuff be organic. Prabhakar was like maple syrup, right? They brand maple syrup as organic, but up is a stream which is feeding water, which is not organic. You see what I'm saying? So
I know. I worked on organic vegetable farms before I had my own farm, and being organic isn't a great advantage. Like you can spray. I've seen more organic farmers spray organic pesticides than actual farmers that are using synthetics that are actually more harm than good.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to say, Michael, if you're interested, since you're doing vegetable farming, to create a standard for vegetables, you say?
Yep.
Grown vegetables, we could do that. So we would get together with you. We define within our rubric what that actual standard is, and then you could be one of the first farms to get certified, and then we take it out to the world. You say?
I'd be interested if in another season when I have more time and better my health is a bit better. It'd be really really interesting.
All right, Marianne Barry. Nice speaking to you again, Mark. Go ahead, Marianne.
Thanks.
Marianne Barry.
Okay, I just wanted to know, as a consumer, is there any way we can find out where to buy some of these products, such as that honey? I know it's in Canada, but is it sold in the United States? And Parry, I just wanted to know where we could buy some of these.
Yeah, Marianne, we're not as good marketers as we should be, but I think what we should do is, Prabhakar, on the Clean Food site, we should probably put the products, Prabhakar, where you can get them.
I think that'd be great, because I would love to, as a consumer, I'd love to buy these. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that, Marianne. Yeah, we should do that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yep. And Marianne, think about also, I know you're out in Arizona, right? There's various communities of healthy communities.
Yes, I was going to do that. Definitely.
From a Truth from Health movement, we're going to put together, for Clean Food, just a one-page thing that if you want to engage those people, all of you here, we do this once a month. One of the ground activities all of you guys can do is take this flyer, hand it out to people, invite them to come to this, because this is our movement. The government doesn't own this. We've been doing this for now a decade, and we have gotten it out there globally with, again, what Michael and I were talking about, a movement. We did this with very little resources. Now that we have a larger Truth from Health movement, screw Booby effing Kennedy, screw the government of any of these countries. We actually have the standard. Marion, you could go all over Arizona, right? And help people get certified, or we could create new certifications, you see, in different areas.
Yeah, because they don't think about things like maple syrup, where the water, where the water, affects the trees that grows the maple syrup. They don't think about things like that. I mean, they go way beyond. You go way beyond. That's
right.
Great.
I mean, in Arizona, they may be some very cool desert products, you say, that indigenous people are making, like nopali, right? And by the way, this can also be
the cactus.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Cactus. Yeah.
This can also be applied to cosmeceuticals, pet foods. I mean, whole areas, skin products, lipstick, right?
Yeah.
Think globally, even clothing. We've wanted to sort of apply this. I don't know if you guys know, but I did a project that who's that? Prabhakar, who's that company that we were asked to present for CytoSolve? Jesus Christ, Arm & Hammer. Remember them?
Yes.
We were asked to present to them, and I didn't know they have a division that makes clothing. Do you know that when all these people wearing these spandex and all these polyester clothes, the amount of shit that they retain in the polyester fibers versus cotton? And there used to be an ancient field in India called Ayyadurai, where you made cotton fabrics and you imbued them with herbs, and it healed you when you slept, you say? So this certification, I just want to let you know, we can apply it to anything. It just depends on what we want to do with it. We can apply it to food, clothing, cosmeceuticals, meats. We own it. Took us a lot of effort to build this credibility. So I want you guys to think about, we can whine at what the establishment is doing, but this is a solution framework. Our standard gets out there, we're going to drive economics, right? People vote with their wallet.
Yeah.
Right? So we can really drive it and help manufacturers. And this, because we're bottoms up, we don't have any of the government nonsense to deal with. We can go direct to people. So part of us starting to do these seminars was, I hit the establishment hard, but on the other hand, we have very good solutions that you guys can take out to market.
Mm-hmm.
So you hit hard, expose all the swarm, but you say, look, I have Clean Food Certified. I can help you right here and now. So if you guys, we can talk about that. What is the marketing literature you guys need? Because the next symposium, there shouldn't be 35 people here. There should be 3,500 people here, 350 people,
Absolutely.
We do this just with our email list, which we get from social media, which shadow bans us a lot, right? So we're limited in the universe we can reach, but you guys on the ground. So if you let us know what you need, we'll create the literature to help you.
Okay.
But this is a tangible way you can influence the market. You can influence economics. People you can literally make an entrepreneur who's very dedicated to good food, them get a competitive advantage over someone else who's producing crap, by getting them labeled as clean food.
Yes. Excellent.
And there's enough people from throughout the world here and throughout different parts of the United States that even if the 35 of you next time brought 10 people in or 10 manufacturers, that's another way you can be part of this. So tell us what you need to do that, and we'll make it, and we'll email it out to you guys. Our card campaign for Save Yourself has been very successful. We could create a card for that. Let us know. Any other comments, questions, or responses to what we just discussed? Okay. If you want to set up, I'm sorry. If you want to set up any time, Dr. Prabhakar's put up the calendar link to have more deeper discussions, any of the science or anything like that you want. Let's go to Kevin Perez in New York. Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Shiva. Thank you very much for the presentation. And a quick question as I'm trying to connect all these dots. I actually am very hyper aware of what I intake in regards to food. And as I'm shopping around, I'm noticing that it's very difficult to get raw milk here in New York State. And I'm curious if it's easy for you guys to sort of do this raw labeling on raw milk. Is that something you guys do?
No. So that's a good area. We could actually create, okay, a standard for raw milk. So if you're interested in doing that, we can do that. There's a number of raw milk producers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can do that because when raw milk is made, there's, I go down to get raw milk down in Oak Knolls Farm here down in Foxborough, right? Again, there's no certification for that, meaning there's various elements. How was a cow taken care of, right? What is the feed that they get? What is the soil that the cow's eating on? How was a cow brought up? How was it milked? You say?
Mm-hmm.
Those can all determine different qualities of raw milk. We could come up with that framework that the public wants. And then we go to farms and make sure they're fulfilling that. And you, Kevin, can become an inspector as a volunteer inspector. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we would give you the criteria. We get all the documentation, make sure they're fulfilled. We seal them as clean or raw food certified. Then we do audits. You can be one of our auditors. But see, it's all us. We're not relying on the fucking government.
Right.
It's we, the people, doing it. So if you want to be part of that, again, we're giving people opportunities. We have the infrastructure to do it. But Kevin, if you want to do that, let's do it, okay? And we would create that criteria. You say, it'll take us a few months to do that. And then we'll hold a public hearing. We can invite all the raw food community to participate, you say, in milk. They will give more feedback. Eventually, it'll go through sort of alpha, beta, gold phase. We would create the raw milk standard for the world.
Yeah, sweet. That sounds good.
Yeah. And Dr. Prabhakar, I don't know if you shared the document we have, right? But as you're going through, Dr. Prabhakar will share. So we literally have the framework to build, add on to our standard. So Kevin, if you want to do that, let us know and we can start, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yep. Let's go over to was it Amani Rashid? Did you have a question? Oh, maybe it was someone else. We did Kevin.
It's me. I don't have a question. I just am listening. And I know some people who have started and made products and food like yogurts and are selling them now in stores. Maybe they'd be interested in this type of certification.
Yeah, and Amini, if you want to do that, please contact Dr. Prabhakar.
Mm-hmm.
We really set up because everything we do is volunteers, but we realize that there are some people who may want to do this as a full-time or sustainable job. You see, you're an affiliate.
Right.
Set up an affiliate program to support people locally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What do they do? Did you say raw?
Well, they make raw yogurt.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
And salad dressings, raw salad dressings.
I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's salad dressings. I don't think we've done, but that's an interesting category.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've done some, condiments,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Great. Marianne, go ahead. Did you have another question, Marianne? Go ahead. Can someone get Marianne? I lost her. Oops. Marianne Barry asked to unmute. Go ahead, Marianne.
Sorry, I forgot to put my hand down. No, I don't have another question.
Okay,
You've
great.
answered them all.
Okay. Patrick, go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Shiva.
Hi, Patrick. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. What's your question, Patrick?
Yeah, I have a small scale of farming, doing cabbages and onions in Kenya.
Oh, I say. Okay.
And I was trying to find out how I can get my vegetables certified.
Yeah, so I think what we should do is, I don't know Michael is here, Mumford. But what we can do is we can develop the standard for that, okay?
Okay.
Like the farming practice, you know, is it organic, the soil, all of that. So, Prabhakar, I think we did this. We're starting with eggs and beef, but we need one of you guys to be the key stakeholder. Michael, I don't know what your schedule is. Michael Morford, let's unmute Michael. I know, Michael, you said you're doing stuff. You're busy. Are you there back, Michael?
Yeah, I'm there.
So, Michael, so you have Patrick who's in Kenya. You're in Canada.
Yep.
So here's a proposal I have, Michael. Even in your, and Patrick, both of you guys, Dr. Prabhakar will give you his email. What I suggest is you guys send us notes on what the elements that you want in to be considered, you see, in a farm grown vegetables. You see, I just gave you a few, right? It could be the seed, it could be the soil, it could be how they're harvested. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'd like to hear from you farmers. And then what we can do is if you guys give us that, we can host a meeting and then we can say, look, these are the key elements of the standard within our clean framework that we're considering. And we'll do a couple of iterations. And out of that would come a draft standard. Then we can hold a public hearing, Patrick and Michael. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make a list of priorities like 1 through 10 or whatever what I'd wanted. But first of all, okay, because I thought your certification, okay, it's like open to addition. It's not like a closed. You already.
Nope, it's an open architecture. So when Dr. Parker shares that, so when we added honey didn't exist. We built that with the honey manufacturers, you say, but it's still in the core principles, right, of clean, conscious living, ethical, nutritious, and bioactive. You say,
yeah,
that's sort of the core, Michael. Then above that, we can localize or specialize it to particular categories. The core systems understanding is the same. So I'm saying it's much easier for us to add new categories right now, but we like to get inputs from the stakeholders, which is what you guys would be.
No, it'd be my pleasure.
Prabhakar, can you give Michael and Patrick your email? Go ahead, Patrick.
No, thank you. Thank you. That's all
Patrick,
I got.
what part of Kenya are you in?
I'm actually in Mars right now, but I'm doing business in farming back home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Patrick and Michael, if you get that, step one to Dr. Prabhakar, we can do a quick meeting with you guys, over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll create a draft standard and present it, and then we'll do a public hearing on it.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Prabhakar, did you give them your email? Prabhakar?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, great. All right, let's go to anyone else. Okay. If there's no other questions, if there's no other comments, just a question before we close. Prabhakar, I don't know how many of you are interested in bringing this to your communities? Like Amini said, she has people who make local yogurt. Is there anyone else like that? Because what we'd like to do is we could do a follow-up where we want to share with you, a piece of literature that you guys could use as a physical paper or a card that you can use to share what this is, to invite people. If you want that, first of all, would anyone here find that valuable? If so, raise your hand, and then we can send you some of the drafts of that documentation. All right. Okay. Jason says yes. All right. We'll put together something and we'll post it up and we'll do an email blast if you guys want to be involved in it. Prabhakar, is there anything else? Can we close the meeting then if there's no other questions?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thank you. And by the way, this video and all the questions and everything, in about 48 hours, this will be up on the site. Prabhakar, it's up on the Clean Food site, right? Can you show them where it's going to be? Oh, we have Nicholas and Wynette Johnson. Maybe as I'm talking to Prabhakar, you can tell people where it's going to be showing up. So if you want to share this with your friends and family, go ahead, Prabhakar.
Yeah, it's Nick and Wynette. We just wanted to say that we're interested in passing out cards to get people, farmers and local people in Michigan to be interested in the certification. Thanks.
Yeah, by the way, Dr. Prabhakar, Nicholas and Wynette, he's right in Michigan too.
Sweet.
He lives there. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do that and we'll get it out to people. But this is the site that you can go to. It's on the forum, and you go to that page and all the previous, so that's where you sign up. But I think the previous ones are over in the area that's called, go ahead, Prabhakar, where is it?
I think it's on the integrated systems.
Okay. Yes, so if you go to integrative systems and symposia, we should probably have a link from there too, Prabhakar. So these are different educations that we've had, the science videos that you can go find up here. Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, thank you, everyone. Wish you guys all a good week, and we'll keep you posted. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So these are the previous forums. I just pasted the link in the chat.
Oh, great. Thanks, Prabhakar. I'm leaving, Prabhakar. Thank you.
All right, thank you.